brighten other people's world with a smile, all of a sudden the world brightens up around you. It's like reciprocal. It's so interesting. And it's something in psychology that I don't want to talk about more because I don't have the studies in front of me, but it's something about us having a good attitude and keeping a good attitude around the people that we are having or around with that makes us so much better at whatever we want to do. Let's stop fighting beliefs. Stop fighting beliefs and let's try to find common ground. We're all on this planet together. According to statistics, it's the person who's mediocre that actually advances further. But is racism the reason the crime rates are so high? I can't say that. You know, that's a tough question. I don't think it's racism. The crime rates are going to be so high. I'm going to be honest with you. Actually, I can't answer that. It's human nature. And I'm being truthful about where we're going right now. We're not going in the right direction. We're not going in the right direction to heal and mend this country. All right. I think we're ready, folks. Let's go. You know what time it is, folks. That's right. It's time for more In the Hot Box with Doc Reo. And today we got something different for you. As you noticed earlier, I just fought through obstacles and turned it into an opportunity. I'm excited about that. You know why I'm excited about that? Because y'all got a chance to see me go through that. Y'all got a chance to see me troubleshoot. And these are things that I've gone through consistently. Troubleshooting things, attempting to make them work, and actually getting them to work. Not just attempting to make them work, getting them to work. You know what I mean? And that's what success is all about. I'm excited because, you know, I don't want to forget and not see the wins. You know, let's get to that right now. You know what I'm saying? Because my question for you all today is, are you missing the wins? Are you missing the wins? Yeah, I know everything's discombobulated right now because I just got through going through this whole hassle, but are you missing wins? You see what I mean? Because I could have easily said, okay, I got that working and just jumped into this lesson and not thought about, not contemplated, not soaked in the fact that that was a win. That was a win. The little ones, the big ones, all the ones in between. We got to pay attention to these wins. So are you missing the wins? Because you're paying attention to everything and everyone else? That's right. Are you missing the wins because you're paying attention to everything and everyone else's solutions, everyone else's problems, everyone else's successes, and not your own? I've done that. I almost did it just then. But I'm excited now. I'm grateful. You know, I mean, we got to remember to be grateful for what we have to achieve so that we can break through any inequities and change our world. You know what I'm saying? We gotta be willing to break through. You know, like Jim Morrison said, break on through to the other side. Come on with me. Let's break on through to the other side so we can start taking care of this ideation versus ideology, thoughts to concepts. But before we get into that, I got an ad from our sponsors, all right? Our sponsors here at I gotta get the right mouse over here. Our sponsors here at Anchor.fm. What? You don't know what Anchor is? Well, if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain, okay? First of all, it's free, all right? Second of all, they have content creation tools, okay? Look at these content creation tools. I mean, you can't see them, but they got content creation tools all over the website. And it helps you edit your podcast right from your phone, all right? Or you can do it from the computer. You know what I'm saying? Anchor will distribute your podcast for you. That's third of all. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so you don't even have to think about it. It'll be distributed on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many, many more. You know what I'm saying? So I forgot. Wait, I almost forgot. There's one more thing. That I think you might like. You can also make money from your podcast, all right, with no minimum listenership, all right? It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. So why don't you get your phone out, go over to the Anchor app or go onto your website and go to Anchor.fm to get started. That's Anchor.fm. One more time, that's Anchor.fm. and get started. Get your podcast out there. Come on, folks. It's just easy. It's just easy. Look at this. Look at this. I can't get over it. You know what I'm saying? But let's get back to this lesson real quick. I'm excited today. I'm excited because, like I said, you got to look for the wins, see the wins, grab the wins, take hold of them, and ride them out. Ride them out. Because if you don't ride them out, you're going to miss all the joy in life. I just can't believe that. I can't believe I did it right in front of y'all and I almost passed it up myself. Wow. The wins. Let's pay attention to our wins, folks. With that being said, the only true central premise from which constructive ideas can radiate freely and be operated without prejudice, absolute equality of status, equality of wealth, and equality of power, is for us to pay attention to how we grow, where we grow. All right? Don't miss the wins. Grab a hold. That's our only time to shine. We can break on through to the other side if we're not paying attention to all this other stuff right here. That stuff is going to be there. Don't get me wrong. But don't let this stuff blind us from our future. So let's talk about ideation versus ideology, thoughts to concepts. And what I mean by that is, let's define this real quick, because when we talk about ideation is the formation of ideas and concepts, all right? And ideology is a system of ideas and ideals which form the basis of theory and policy. So concepts, when I talk about concepts, I talk about something a little bit different there. Okay, concepts, to define that, it's a general idea or understanding of something, a plan or a unifying theme, or especially something that's for a product or a service. Now, let me say that one more time. A general idea or understanding of something, a plan, a unifying theme, especially for a product or service. And that, I put it back there. That came out the AH Dictionary, the American Heritage Dictionary. You can look that up. Concepts are a general idea or understanding of something, a plan, a unifying theme, especially for a product or service. Now, I got it out I actually have a version. Matter of fact, I have a real version of the American Heritage Dictionary. A hardback, right? So I used to always go online, and then I realized I had one because I keep collecting dictionaries. Why do I collect dictionaries? I collect dictionaries because it's important for me to make sure I understand words and concepts. And see, the best way for us to find out if a concept is worthwhile is to try to look into the concept and understand what it really means. And it's funny because I start to think about how it takes both ideation and ideology. It takes our belief in something, even if our belief is in nothing. You see, because I know some atheists out there, and their belief is that nothing exists, but they believe in themselves in some kind of way. Some don't. But the only way you're going to be able to get to this is actually having belief in yourself. So your ideology, no matter what it is, must stem from the fact that you have to believe in yourself to get to the next level. So with that being said, it's time to grow towards a dream. You see, my quote is for today is, keep an eye on the patterns and grow towards a dream. You see, because if we don't start growing towards our dream, if we don't start taking the steps and gradually getting there, because we can't just jump from A to B. Sometimes, there are outliers. Outliers meaning mostly everybody stays in one group, one general area, and everything's, generally the same. That's the majority. And every once in a while, you'll have somebody over here on the extreme right, or you have somebody over here on the extreme left of a diagram, of a chart. You know what I'm saying? So when you talk about that, I'm not talking about politics, but you can look at it that same way. The majority of people in politics are in the middle. Some people are on the right, some people are on the left. Those are the outliers. The far rights and the far lefts. Those are outliers. So with that being said, you know, we all have the ability to grow towards our dream as long as we keep an eye on the patterns. You know what I'm saying? There's patterns out there. There's routes and there's methods. Matter of fact, I'm going to try to find out some more methods. I'm going to try to get some coaching, some direct coaching, so I can figure out the patterns that I need to be looking out for so that I can grow towards my dream, because I know it's not going to happen tomorrow, but it's going to happen day by day as I grow with it. This is a new dream, you see, because I really don't have to do anything, you know what I mean? I don't want to say that to like brag, but you know, essentially I'm at that point in life where I could stop and just sit back and, you know, live okay, not well, but fairly well. But I think it's important that we should have more goals, because when we don't have more goals, we don't do anything. And when we don't do anything, we sit idle, and sitting idle only leads to death. You know what I mean? And I'm not ready to die. I want to relax and enjoy life, but I don't just enjoy life by sitting on my derriere. I enjoy life by actually getting up and getting out and getting something. So I had to force that stuff back for myself. That was something that I'm doing for myself. Getting up and getting out and getting back out there and get something. And I hope that you can get up, get out there, grow towards your dreams too. Remember, it's not, even if it's a race, you know, the tortoise usually wins that race. Slow, long, and methodical. They say that for a reason, not just because the hare is faster, you know, and might just decide to get lazy just because they know they can win. But just because if you take the long and methodical route, you start to see the sights along the way. And seeing the sights along the way makes it for a lovely day, doesn't it? You remember everything along the way. You don't miss out on things. You know, sometimes we're running and we're running and we're rushing and we're rushing to get to an end goal. Anyway, I can go on about that, but that's not what this lesson is all about. I just want to remind y'all to grow towards your dreams, because when we grow towards our dreams, that's when, you know, things start to make things happen. So remember when I said in the last episode, what happens when we write down our thoughts and ideas? For me, well, it usually comes to fruition. You see, I also explained that I had already accomplished my dreams, and they had not already looked the way I had dreamed. And so for me, when I started thinking about that earlier, what I was saying about seeing the successes, you know, that wasn't the success that I thought I was going to see today. I wasn't planning on that success. I wasn't planning on that happening. I didn't get up in the morning saying, oh, I was going to celebrate the fact that I had to fix my audio right before streaming. You know, I was supposed to actually do 3 of these videos, but I'm slowing this video down because I'm not going to be doing 3 of them tonight. I got some other things I got to get done. So, but I'm going to make sure at least one video gets out there, and I'm going to do another one this week so I can catch up. You see, because I've had some obstacles in my way that created opportunities for me to change some things around in my studio, and created opportunities for me to make some things happen. Now, those obstacles did delay my progress on my 52-week challenge. However, I don't lose the challenge because I miss a couple of weeks. I lose the challenge by not doing the 52 episodes. So my goal is to continue to do these 52 episodes, pump them out to you, and make sure that we still get these lessons going. You know, deliver that content, right? Right. So let's keep going. All right. Now, one thing though, I was thinking about that though last time, and I had to remember to myself that even though it's not as shiny as I want it to be, I can still make it happen somehow, some way, some shape or form. And like I said, I want to elaborate even more on this topic, because if we own our own thoughts, if our own thoughts get in the way, and if we cannot manage our own thoughts or own our thoughts the way we are, we miss and walk right by opportunities that lead to our dreams. You know, I've done this more times than I can count, and that's Well, that's pretty much why I almost missed that one. You know what I mean? I ultimately achieved my dreams in the end. And if I see them along the way, I'm more excited about them. So we want to get to what's next on this. All right. Who am I and why am I here? All right. And I think that's not as important as the learning objectives I want to put out there, and we'll get to those in just a second. But I think it is important for me to tell you why I am here and what made me want to be a part of what I'm doing today. And part of that is because, you know, the reality is I grew up in South Central Los Angeles, right? And growing up in South Central Los Angeles, I had this thing about feeling like I was always looking over my shoulder wherever I walked down the street. Feeling like I always had to protect myself and who I was. You see, because when I grew up in South Central LA, my mom was smart enough to make sure I had opportunity, all right? And she wanted to make sure I grew up to get a degree, not 5 degrees. She just wanted to make sure I grew up to get a degree. So she put me in a little school next to USC, and while she went to USC herself, in hopes that I would get a good education and not have to happen to have the struggles that she had in life. You know, my mom being a lesbian woman not only had the struggles, but had the pressures from the society being upon her shoulders. You know, the pressures from the society telling her that she couldn't be gay. At least in those days, that's what we called it. She couldn't be lesbian. You know, she couldn't be who she wanted to be, squashing her identity, causing her not to be or feel equal to people in society. You know, which things like that cause us to miss our wins. Things like that cause us to not see what can be. Things like that cause us to not see opportunity. I don't like it when I don't see opportunity. Opportunity is there for us to live through, to enjoy, to be a part of, to know, to feel, to take in and let be and let us grow with, right? It sucks not to have that opportunity the way we want to see it. But so who am I and why am I here? All right. As I said before, I'm a scholar with 5 degrees. I got these 5 degrees going through all kind of turmoil. But I ended up doing a lot of years of school before I finally sat down and said, look, I need to actually finish school. And not only did I finished school as a scholar. I talk about I'm making my road to a scholar, but I forgot that once I graduated with my bachelor's degree with distinction, I became a scholar. A win I missed. See what I'm saying? It's not just those certain wins you miss. We miss all kind of wins sometimes. You know what I mean? And sometimes the wins are right there in front of our face, but we don't know what to do with them. We don't know how they're supposed to be. We don't know how we're supposed to achieve them. We don't know how we're supposed to be able to succeed. You know, and for me, my own imposter syndrome makes me go back and keep getting degrees. You know, I spent years working and gaining experience before I went back to get degrees. As a matter of fact, let's take it to another level. Let's just take it to a whole nother level, all right? Take it to a whole nother level, all right? I grew up in South Central Los Angeles having to work at 13. Los Angeles Conservation Corps. LA Conservation Corps had this crew called the Clean and Green Crew, all right? The Clean and Green Crew, we used to go out there. I learned how to use a chainsaw and an axe and all that back then. But they turned around and they put me in Los Angeles Department of Water and Power. While I was in the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power, it was interesting to me. I thought it was real interesting to me because at the LADWP, I got to sit in the office in the purchasing department. You see, some tools that I would need for the future of my life were being presented in front of me and I wasn't seeing them. It was a win. I didn't like sitting in that office space. I didn't like being in a cubicle. That's all I could think about to myself is that I didn't want to be in a cubicle. When instead of just thinking about being in a cubicle, I could start thinking about the things that were being laid in front of me, like the fact that I was starting to understand receivables. I was starting to understand shipping. I was starting to understand purchase orders. I was starting to understand how money is moved in and out of a company, invoices. It was all there in front of me. That's what my work was. But I wasn't really into it. You know, I was an entertainer type. I wasn't into sitting back and doing finance and accounting. But had I paid attention, I'd be 1,000 times ahead. Had I looked at it as a win, that I wasn't out in the field cutting down trees. I wanted to go back out in the field and cut down trees. You know, isn't that interesting? So, just because I'd be around my friends and hanging with my friends and shooting the crap. Not growing, not going anywhere. That's just the way it works sometimes. And that's because I grew up a professional musician. And growing up a professional musician made me feel differently about the things that I should be doing. Made me feel, I don't know, a little privileged about life. I was a paid musician as a child. I thought I should have it all. I should have what I wanted. And they were giving me what they felt I would deserve, that I shouldn't be in the field because I was a paid musician. And so I missed out on the win, instead going a whole different route. You know, it took years before I got my act together, you know, through high school, which I was performing, I was doing all kind of other stuff, but you know what I mean? I wasn't really focused as much as I was in the years before that. Yeah, I didn't focus as much on education like I would have. I started ditching school more. You know, I played, I performed, but they were letting me get away with murder. Just be honest with you. Just because I was first chair trumpet and first chair French horn. David Sears didn't let me get away with that. And I should have learned that lesson then. I'm glad he did. You know, people might think I talk about that to complain about the fact that David Sears kept me out of a concert. No, not at all. He was trying to put his foot in my derriere. You know what I mean? Get me lined up. Same thing Grant Cardone is doing to me every day. Gotta make sure I make that meeting tomorrow. I don't know why I missed the first one. My first one was last week. I missed the launch meeting. See what I mean? Because I had something else booked at that time. And so when I signed up on the weekend, I could have moved it. I didn't take the opportunity to move it. And I missed out. I missed out because this is the last launch tomorrow. So I got to make it to this launch tomorrow. Whew. Got to be a part of this stuff. You know why? Because when you're part of these things, you start to grow towards your dream. When you're part of things and you see the future and you're around people who are motivated to grow, you start to grow towards your dream. I want it to be shiny this time. You know what I'm saying? I'm writing down my thoughts. I'm bringing things to fruition, but I want things to be real, real shiny. Real shiny. Why? Because when they're real shiny, then I can utilize those things to grow more. Because it's not just about me, remember? I'm only one eye in that community. I have to grow more so I can help others grow more. I can't just help others along the way. I've got to grow up a ladder, up a scale, get the things I need so I can try to pull others up with me. The problem is that there's going to be people who don't want to be pulled up, who want to stay down. And I got to keep, I got to keep myself on firm ground, whether it's up or down. I can't let them break my ground, my solid ground. So And that's just the way it is. But I ended up a veteran of the United States military because I didn't see a path. I didn't see a passion. And, things happened with my mom. My mom ended up in some pressures and, She ended up using drugs. She ended up using drugs for years. But you know what? She snapped out of that. She got her life back together as well. She transformed her life and is doing great work in the community. She's been doing that for years now. And yeah, at that time, my heart was broke. I had a lot of things against her, but I can't blame her anymore. You know what I mean? I can't blame her for how I am. I am who I am because I chose it. You are who you are because you choose to be. So remember, when you take your path, remember the things you gather up. Stop thinking about others. Start thinking about your victories. I could be dead right now. I went to the United States Army, was deployed to the Middle East, and could be dead right now. But I'm not. I'm here. I came back and I got a chance to become a producer. I got a chance to become a broadcast journalist. I got a chance to become to become a scholar. And now I'm going for my master's in education, and I'm studying to be something that I've been doing for a little bit of time. That's creating learning experiences. I've been doing them on campus, off campus, in classrooms, in presentation rooms, for Veterans Resource Center, for my fraternity, I've been doing it for different places. I'm going to start doing it for the DAV as I've picked up a position there as well. It's all about the experience we can share with each other and how we can help each other grow. And that's why I keep talking to people about Clubhouse, folks. Because if you haven't tapped into that, I'm not trying to promote it right now. It's a networking opportunity. And anybody passing up a networking opportunity, I've done it, should know it's taken me years to get ahead because of the opportunities I passed up. Now, maybe those opportunities weren't for me. Maybe it was because I didn't have my mind right that those opportunities weren't for me, but maybe those opportunities weren't for me. And if that's the case, so be it. But that doesn't mean that I don't have a chance at changing my world, even if I miss those opportunities. Remember, there's always a chance. Always a chance to go, grow, and know. That's why I'm a learning experience designer. I'm here to teach you. To teach you, I can't teach you anything. I can show you. But I'm here to teach and show you that you can believe in yourself and change your world. You can take everything that you've had in the past and take it and just say, okay, that's what I was. This is who I'm becoming. I'm here to show you that you can go up a scale, make tons of money, lose it all, and climb back up again. As you see me taking this step, as you see me take this climb, just know it's not about me. It's about community. Because the things that I do right now, the things that I take for steps forward, is about the people that I want to help in my community. It's about the dreams of me building something to help people in the community. That's all I've been trying to do throughout my whole life. Well, and not even knowing it. Unconsciously, that's what I was trying to do. Consciously, that's what I'm doing. Unconsciously, that's what my mind has been trying to do in the background. You see, because even when I wanted to do something else, my mind was taking me off those roads, trying to keep me from danger. It's because I had already programmed my subconscious mind to say that I can achieve a long time ago. I just didn't know where I would achieve. In this video, you will learn how to recognize opportunities as they arise, how to recognize viable concepts, how to utilize transparency for productivity, and how to avoid bad financial habits, to be exact. Once again, in this video, you will learn how to recognize viable concepts, how to utilize transparency for producibility, and how to avoid bad financial habits. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about concepts, producibility, and habits. You see, because like I said, I've changed these lessons around, folks. But before we talk about concepts, producibility, and habits, I was looking through my analytics, and they tell me that several of you are watching but not subscribing. Now, if you find any value in what I'm saying or agree with anything that I'm sharing, don't mean to tap that mic on you, but if you find any value in what I'm saying or agree with anything I'm sharing, please just drop a like. Smash that like button. Pop it. You could touch it softly if you want. You know, you can also subscribe, or you can push the mini doc down on the bottom. You know, and if you follow me, you know what that does is it helps not only me, but it also might help somebody else. Because if you like what I'm talking about, if you get some value from what I'm talking about, when you push that like button, it makes it available for more people. And more people might find what I'm talking about interesting. They might need these tools to help themselves grow. You know, this is the meat and potatoes right here. I'm stopping right before the meat and potatoes because I'm about to give you the meat. And I'll make it nice and easy and quick, and it won't be that long. All right? But understand that a lot of people won't get to see this meat if you don't help the algorithm out too. I try to help the algorithm as much as possible by doing all the things on my side to help it get out to more people. Please help me help it too. All right? So if you like anything you see here, you can pop that like button. You can also hit mini doc down in that corner over there. You hit mini doc down in that corner over there, that little mini doc, he's over there doing this with him. You hit him, it'll take you to subscribe. And if you want to set your notifications, you can go down by the subscribe button, push the bell, and you can set your notifications to any path you desire. I always say, why don't you hit always? You know, I only come once a week. You can miss it. So, with that being said, oh yeah, also, if you want to find any live versions of the recorded series and you missed the mini doc and you missed subscribing, I do have a playlist called the Mindset Series. All right? That's the Mindset Series. So let's get to the meat. All right? All right. How to recognize viable concepts. All right. Now, we talked about taking ideas and writing them down. All right? So that we can subconsciously think about them and relate them to similar situations and execute the proper solutions to succeed, right? Ideas, write it down, cognition, relation, obstacles, and action. We talked about this before. These are the viable concepts. You're doing it already. That's why we had to go through that belief system to get you here, to get to viable concepts. Now, once you've written them down and you've thought about them and you figured out how they relate to your field and you narrowed them down, you niched them down into that viable concept. You've already figured it out. I just wanted to give you that opportunity to realize that if you've gotten this far in the series, you've already successfully been able, if you've done the steps, when you've gotten to this point in the series, you've already succeeded. You've already succeeded in understanding viable concepts. So you're already halfway through this lesson. I mean, we have to pay attention to the wins. And I want you to pat yourself on the back and say, look, I've won. I've won something. I've completed a goal. I understand what a viable concept is. I know that I can use this concept. I don't know how I'm going to use this concept yet, or maybe you do. But I know I have something that's usable, that can make me get to point A to point B. Something that's not only usable, that's valuable that may be valuable to somebody in your community, maybe valuable to somebody in your neighborhood, maybe somebody valuable to somebody online that you have an online community with. Something that you've already dug through, pre-tested, done the research, tried it with other people, and they've said, yeah, I would love to have that. Even if you only got 1, 2, 3 people that you didn't know. Mind you, in that past history, it's people you don't know. Because people you do know are going to tell you they like it. People you don't know that you want to tell you. Yes, you need outside feedback. So don't forget, do all the concepts and you get feedback on those concepts. Somebody who doesn't know you, somebody who doesn't, care if they hurt your feelings. Yep. So now, all this stuff, when you execute the proper solutions to succeed, it all comes with time. It's going to take practice and repetition to prepare yourself for the obstacles that you may face. I mean, I prepare myself every day, and I do it by looking for more opportunities to find solutions. As a matter of fact, I'm looking for solutions to improve my business. Like I told you earlier, I'm going to try to get help from a coach. Then I test my solutions and seek the opinions of others. We got to get that feedback. It all boils down to taking action in order to see if I can take the idea and craft it into ideation. And that ideation I will use to craft into more. So how do you take it from the concepts, right? And how do you utilize transparency in your life? I'm telling you this for a reason, because you're going to need to utilize transparency to maximize producibility. So how do you do that? Well, I'm going to put it to you like this. This one is truly up to you. You got to take a moral inventory. This is really truly up to you. You have to sit back and take a moral inventory of yourself. Look at your rights, look at your wrongs, and be honest with yourself about it. You know what I'm saying? We can lie to ourselves and find a path to the future. And then when we find that path, we end up on a road that falls off a cliff. And then we got to climb back up the cliff off a small branch and try to figure out what we're doing next, right? It's a waste of time, wasted energy, almost destroyed our whole future. I've done it. I gave up everything because I couldn't find a path, because I lied to myself and said there is no future for me. I said, I don't need to do anything. I sit back and spend all my money. I don't care. That's what I said to myself. Don't say that to yourself. Don't give up on yourself. Keep trying. I know. I tell people, it's not about trying. I know we talk about that all the time. It's about doing. But no, if trying is the only thing that gets you up to get up, if trying is the thing that motivates you to do what you don't want to do, because you got to do what you don't want to do to get ahead. Trust me, I know I do a lot of things I don't want to do on a daily basis. Do you think I wanted to rewrite these lessons? I don't want to rewrite the lessons. I want to present the lessons. I love presenting to y'all. Do I like writing the lessons? No, I don't. You see what I mean? But I have to go through the tedium and drudgery and stop worrying about my own debauchery to get ahead. Now, let me translate that for y'all who don't know. I gotta get through the stuff that takes so much time and effort, and it is slow and it's boring and it just bugs my head, and forego those things that I love to do that stimulate my mind and body and make me feel happy and free so that I can get things done. We got to forego those things to get ahead. See what I mean? Otherwise, we're just lying to ourselves. We may even have to pay someone just to help us remove the permafrost that hinders our growth. And I'm using that word because that's the mentor I'm trying to go see. I'm going to get smashed up by a mentor that's going to tell me I got tons of permafrost hidden in corners I didn't know. Or maybe I do know. Maybe I've been figuring it out along the way because I've been listening to them talk. I've been writing down things that help me look through it. And maybe I'm right for the picking. Maybe I'm at that point of change. You see what I mean? Because yes, I made it to scholar, but I gotta still make it to hero. You see, I can't teach y'all what it takes to go from scholar to hero if I don't make it from scholar to hero. I can teach you what it takes to be a scholar. I can teach you where it gets to get to where I'm at, what I've done. I've run a business, not well, but I've run a business and I've made money and I've been able to pitch things to people. I've been able to close deals and I've been able to make projects happen. And I've been able to do things that people haven't been able to do. Still to this day, I have people looking at me when I'm doing stuff on Zoom or on footage, and they're like, wow, why is your stuff so much clearer than ours? Now, I can tell you hundreds of people who just play video games that got this kind of technology too. It's because I continue to stay in my craft even when I don't want to. Even when I don't want to type this stuff up or research this thing, I continue to stay in my craft and keep doing it so I get the practice I need to keep going ahead. See, that's taking a moral inventory. I know I don't want to do it, but I know I got to do it. And I got to remove that permafrost. I got to take a look at my lifestyle. And I have to take a moral inventory. What do you know about your personal and business finances? Because you got to dig into that too. For me, I had to start operating on a regular budget. I'm on a regular budget. And that was something I didn't do before because I lacked the financial intelligence. I still lack the financial intelligence. But I'm learning. I'm practicing it. I had to ask myself, what do my expenses look like? What do your expenses look like on a regular basis? I had to start mapping out my financial goals. Have you mapped out your financial goals? Have you laid out those plans yet? I had to start focusing on having a savings, which I struggle maintaining, but I'll get there. I will get there. And I start planning. I started planning for a few. Matter of fact, I got maybe 3 life insurance policies at this point. Do you have a life insurance policy? You see, we have to plan for our future because like Bob Marley said, I think it was Bob Marley, he said, God won't give a poor man money. He won't give money to a poor man. Why won't he give money to a poor man? It's because the poor man will not know what to do with it. That's exactly why. You see, because the rich man has already planned out what to do with the money before it arrives. He's making plans for money that he ain't even got because he's believing before he's achieving. We've got to believe so that we can retrieve the means, the things we need to achieve so that we can succeed. And that's part of what I've been trying to put out there, folks. Every time I turn around and notice, I'm like, man, it was belief that got me to this point. It was belief that got me to the point where I went from being a failing student, a student who wouldn't go to class, to a student who graduated with distinction and now has 5 degrees, going for my 6th. Most people don't look at that as accomplishment because y'all too busy talking about, school's a waste of time. But you know what? School has kept me on a road to get my mind back so I can come back and look at these men and women and non-binary family members that we have out here. All right? These men and women and non-binary members of our family. Because this whole world is our family. We're all from the same blood. When we really want to get down to it, we might not like we're all from the same blood. We might want to separate each other, but we're all from the same blood. We've got to make sure we keep ourselves together and do things for each other in a way that we never known. And I think we started to learn that more now. So I've been getting together, figuring out how I can sit down and make my life more transparent, even more. Go from not just being a scholar, but go from being a scholar to being someone more. Because when I become someone more, I can turn around and lift somebody else up and bring them up to my level too. Like I said, it's not about me, it's about the community. Let's go. Because if you spend time going through a moral inventory, and then you took a look at your budget and you took a look at your expenses and you started to get some financial goals and you started to plan your savings and you started to sit down, take care of your money before it arrives. Take care of knowing that it's coming in and saying, this is what I need to do with it. Putting things in order. And when we start to do that, it may have taken me some time to really sit down and plan, but we start planning it so that we can be transparent enough to produce much, much more. I've tested this idea on myself in an educational surrounding. Now I'm ready to put it out into action. Except I need more. I need more data. And so my goal is to shadow somebody for more data. You see, because I'm being honest with myself about my own capabilities. And being honest being honest about my own capabilities, it just really works out for me. You know, so let's talk about how to avoid bad financial habits. All right. Now notice, I'm taking the same lessons, but they're all three are still in one pattern here. I'm not shortening the lesson as much as you think. I'm just condensing a little bit more. Now, it takes about, 66 days to change a habit? Change or form a habit? So as I previously said, as you already know this in the former lesson, we have to write down our ideas and put them into testing and practice in order to rise above the obstacles we face while navigating available opportunities that lead us to success. You see, as we think about the power of thoughts, as we think about concepts, as we think about producibility, as we look at our habits, we need to take those 66 days. Take that practice. Take those ideas, put them into practice, try them out, keep trying them out, keep trying them out. Take that practice and present it to people to get those opportunities. And we get those opportunities, but we got to keep repeating it because we're going to get turned down the first time. It's not going to be one time we get turned down. We're not going to get it the first time we go out there. We're going to get turned down and we're going to have to come back. And every time we come back, we'll see different results. And when we see different results, we can change, mold, grow, change our path that allows us to succeed. All right. Like I said, when we remember the power of thoughts, then we got to remember the 4 pillars. From believe, retrieve, achieve, succeed. And if you don't remember those 4 pillars every time, then you're going to end up falling back in one of the areas and not knowing how to go ahead. So 4 pillars, because these 4 pillars all start with one. The first one, the power of how much you believe in yourself. I'm not saying you got to believe in something else. I'm not saying you got to believe in someone else. You got to believe in yourself first and your abilities. And if you don't, go back to the first part of this series, self-efficacy versus self-confidence, because you need them both to succeed. All right. So always remember, it goes back to belief, no matter what you do. So now, let's talk about one of my favorites, the inverted pyramid. Once again, the ultimate goal of this effort is to move forward the adoption of liberatory, reflective social action, consciousness for all. The liberatory, reflexive social action can occur via thinking, reflecting, and engaging in community-driven social action, scholarship, engagement, sustainability, and grassroots-driven information dissemination activities using social media. That was Llewellyn Cornelius and Claudia Lawrence Webb. Now, unfortunately, I could not find the article I had that I already put this quote in there. I was going to go back to the old quote, which says, a crisis that one's will becomes fully engaged. It was the ability to manage the fight or flight reaction so common in all of us where we are tested. And if the empathetic bond is sufficiently in place and energized, we will take our own stand and energize others to do so, by Samuel Natali and Anthony Libertelli. So in the end of this, you'll see that I quoted Libertelli, but next I'll have Llewellyn Cornelius and Claudia Lawrence Webb. All right. So, but also what that means is that we got to remember that thoughts can create. Honesty is the key. And we got to be disciplined about getting up and getting past those tedium and drudgeries and moving debaucheries out of the way so that we take these steps forward. I mean, some of them are going to go backwards. You know, we're going to be doing this. Don't get me wrong. But as we do this, you see, as I do that, I'm inching forward. I'm getting out of screen. You know, I can start back here. Yeah. But I'm inching forward the whole time because I'm pushing. As long as we're pushing, taking those steps, we grow towards our dream. So with that being said, what are your next steps? Your next steps, folks? It's not going to be easy, folks. We got a lot of stuff to unpack first. A lot of unwanted baggage. But for me, I'm starting to see that this journey is worthwhile. Because the more I unpacked old garbage and I lighten my, the lighter my journey becomes. And so when you take your next steps, think about this. Keep digging deep. Take some time to plan and clear out unwanted thoughts, all right? But don't forget, you got to want to do one thing. You got to track that progress daily. So if you're going to keep digging deep, dig down deep, unpack some stuff. Get all that permafrost off. Trust me, I'm still plucking stuff off. And most of it is because I'm learning a lot of stuff about Black history that I didn't know about. And there's a lot to unpack when I get in that. So I'm real messed up when it comes to that. So, but at the same time, I'm working through it because I got to in order to get ahead. Don't forget, take some time. Sit down once a week and once a month for the whole month. Plan ahead. Because if you don't plan ahead, you end up behind schedule. Trust me. I end up behind schedule more times than anybody else, even when I plan. Also, clear out unwanted thoughts. Think about this for a second. When you plan ahead and you clear out unwanted thoughts, when an obstacle does arise in your way, you already got some plan. You already have a plan to effectively handle it, to make it an opportunity, but then you don't discourage yourself from activating that plan. Because unwanted thoughts can make you do that. And then you track your progress daily. When you track your progress daily, you keep track of your wins. You keep track of your successes. And you celebrate them. You celebrate them, folks. Don't forget to celebrate. Celebrate good times. Come on. You know what I'm saying? Celebrate. Can't sing right now because my voice is going, but So anyway, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, contact me. Please contact me. You can contact me by calling me at 310-844-9285, or you can contact me at docreo.com. You see what I'm saying? docreo.com. And if you find any value on what I'm saying, or agree with what I'm saying, or what I'm sharing, just drop us a like. Smash that like button or share it with someone else. I mean, it doesn't cost you much. It's free. It's free to do so. And it helps move us up the ranks of the algorithm. So somebody or somebody that might be helped by this video will get a chance to see it. Also, if you want to find out about more when our live videos or recorded versions, of the Mindset series are released, click the mini doc in the corner over there. That little mini doc will get you to subscribing. And don't forget to set your notification preferences on the bell so that the next time you subscribe, we put out a show, that you either hear it or, do it whichever way you want to. All right. It's next to the subscribe button at the bottom. I can't even say that for some reason. Anyway, that's it for today, folks. If you have any questions about any of my references, you know what I'm saying? That's Stanley T. Danko, The Millionaire Next Door, The Surprising Secrets About American Wealthy. That's talking about concepts. No, that's talking about producibility. That talks about producibility. Natali Libertelli and Higher Education, they talked about concepts, thoughts, using your thoughts to get past things. Stanley T. and Danko W., The Millionaire Next Door, they spoke about transparency for producibility. And Keller and Papasan J., The One Thing, The Surprising Simple Truth, talked about the 66 steps, talked about habits, how to change your habits and focus on one thing, the one thing you want to do to get ahead. So anyway, stay tuned for more in the Hot Box with Doc Reo next week, folks. As a matter of fact, before I get to that, I just want to say, remember, folks, don't miss out on the opportunity to celebrate your wins. Because When we see that little goal, our mind is transformed to see that we can make more goals happen. You don't want to lose out on the goals that you have, the dreams that you have, the world that you live in. You want to take it to the next level, right? I know I do. I always want to take it to the next level. So keep pushing, keep driving, keep striving, keep dreaming. Because without those dreams, you may not be motivated to move forward. I love being motivated each and every day. Motivated by the way I see the world around me, motivated by the way I can dream about my future. There was a time when I wasn't motivated. And that time took me down into the dumps. I was so depressed and I couldn't control my post-traumatic stress. But now I see that there's an opportunity for me to just make it through and have my own forms of victory. So do the same for yourself. Find what you love. Try to do that on the side, even if it's just a habit. A hobby. Try to take that hobby into something you like to do. And even if you never make it into a dream that you want to make it into, if you start working on that hobby, more dreams will come to you too. This is Doc. Stay tuned for more In the Hot Box with Doc Reo as I get ready to step on out of here. You know what time it is, folks. Peace. I'm out of here. If you or someone you know is having thoughts of harming themselves, please contact the Suicide Prevention Hotline at 1-800-273-8255. That's 1-800-273-8255. And if you're a veteran of the armed forces, press 1 after dialing 1-800-273-8255. Doc Reo TV.